Linear phase. Okay, it's a pretty heady. Um, with um, so phase sound at its most basic phenomena is like it's like molecules going back and forth, and the distance that they move is their amplitude. So like or like from the middle of that oscillation is their amplitude, and and so like the larger that is, the louder a sound is. In a waveform, so I'll just find like an audio. So like this is this loop. But like, I mean that sound is comprised of these little positive and negative vibrations. So in the physical domain, that is movement of the air. In the electrical domain, and it's current in like the analog domain. So it's like this pattern is a voltage pattern, and then in the DAW it's just a bits that are. But so phase is yeah, in the digital domain. So my understanding of what phase is it is making it so that something is still vibrating, like up and down, but it's vibrating in a different direction. And what that means for like equalizers work via offsetting phase. If two sounds are like summing and moving in the opposite direction at a certain frequency, that is going to become, that frequency in that summed version is going to be quieter, because phase works with or against. So like, I mean, people talk about phase canceling, and that's basically you take something and you take its opposite, and they're sending vibration in the opposite directions at the same time, and you get null or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, in a very like applied context, phase is the process by which EQ will boost or cut certain frequencies, and OTT is like a 3-band compressor and upwards compressor, roughly. So you have filters that like kind of, you have like these 3 sections. I don't know how much you know about OTT, Dominic, but these 3 sections, they represent different crossovers of like an EQ doing, so like this part, this low section of the frequency spectrum crosses over into this mid part of the frequency spectrum at 83 hertz. So effectively, there is like a high pass or a low pass filter at 83 hertz before doing the compression dynamics stuff. And then in this middle band, that compression dynamics stuff is a little different, and there is a filter before and probably maybe after that doing this at from like 70, or I mean right here it is 88 to 200 to 1500 hertz. And if you like, the thing is, if you like, I'll just demonstrate. Very in-depth explanation. But so like this is a audio effect rack within which I'm splitting the frequency spectrum into under 100 hertz and above 100 hertz. That's the effect will change the sound, and that will have a sonic characteristic sound. So if I like look at this a bunch of times, you're just hearing that frequency split, and so here's what it sounds like without that, and that's with. So I mean, on that last kick, you're getting a huge like kind of sub bloom, and so like this stuff sums. You're getting like a volume spike at 100 hertz. I don't know. So phase has a really subtle sonic characteristic. So if you want to make something linear phase, it instead of altering frequency via phase shift, amplitude via phase shift, amplitude of frequency via phase shift, it keeps the phase intact, but it introduces something called pre-ringing, which means that the sound kind of starts before it's scheduled to start. So it becomes like time shift. I don't know super in depth about it, but they have linear phase options have different sonic characteristic. That's the real answer. And I could have, yeah. So there's a very lengthy explanation. But I don't know how coherent it was, but